Hello, I'm Uta Müller here at the Frankfurt Book Fair with Peter Dowling. He's the Vice President of the Publishers Association of New Zealand and he represents Oratia, a publisher too. Peter, nice to meet you here.
Nice to be here in Frankfurt again, Uta.
What in heaven is a boutique publisher?
Many publishers in New Zealand are now independent, and we describe ourselves as boutique. We're small and we don't want to grow too big. So we're like a boutique as opposed to a department store.
And have you had success with a little boutique publisher?
Yes, we have success. We're a small publisher, and we occupy a niche in our market. As long as we don't try and do too much, we can sustain our business.
Okay, and which niche do you occupy?
So we are known especially for children's picture books, for young adult fiction, and Maori books, and New Zealand history.
Ah yes, I have seen here 2 Maori books.
Yes.
And what's special in Maori books?
Maori literature was an oral literature. It wasn't written, but it's a very strong storytelling culture. It's a very beautiful and poetic language. The sound is very like Italian. And so in terms of poetry and expression, it's known for its beauty. And since the 1970s, there's been a blossoming of Maori writing and writing about Maori. So it's a very key part of who we are as New Zealanders, whether or not we are Maori.
Okay, and do you speak Maori?
Yes, I speak Maori.
Yes?
Yes.
Did you learn it as a child? Or?
Unfortunately, our education system doesn't teach it as an obligatory subject, so I learned it later in life at university, and I still do some night courses from time to time.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes. And what's your vision to publish these books too?
We believe, certainly in the Maori area, that there's certain books that the new generation need to have access to about their history, about their identity, and that this is something all New Zealanders should know and be proud of. We also believe that New Zealand authors and topics should have a chance to be read and be exposed to the world. We're a very small country that speaks English as its main language, so UK and American books dominate the world.
I know.
So for us it's important to try and add our voice, which is different. It's a Polynesian, South Pacific voice.
Okay.
And so our vision is to try and join this. Obviously we're not necessarily going to be the biggest or the most successful, but we need to be present.
And do you think that a German publisher would buy a license of such a book?
We have had interest in Maori legends. We find the German publishers very open to subjects from the South Pacific, from other parts of the world. And in fact, New Zealand was country of honour in Frankfurt in 2012, and we were surprised by how interested Germans are in New Zealand. Of course, for tourists, it's a popular destination, and for matters such as the environment and even sports, there's some interest from Germany.
I think it's a wonderful island. 2 islands.
Well, I think we have feel also a sympathy with the German outlook and the German approach to things. Our political system now is copied from the German system, so we have quite a lot in common. Yeah.
Yes, and what do you think is the big thing in New Zealand? What do the people read?
Because we import most of our books from overseas, fiction and poetry are there, but they struggle. The biggest selling books for us are sports books, particularly about rugby or cricket. Cookbooks are very, very big. Cookery and food has become a very big subject area in recent years. Gardening is extremely popular because we have space and people have gardens in their backyard. And from our publishing and internationally, we're known for children's writing, both for education. New Zealand's very strong in teaching of writing, and we have educational publishers here who export to many countries about readers for early childhood. And then children's authors. We have had some very well-known children's authors, winners of the Hans Christian Andersen Award, and our children's books sell well.
Oh, that's very good. And the last question, How do you describe the situation of the publishers in New Zealand?
We've been through a very tough few years with the rise of the e-book and digital, and also people ordering from the US and Britain from Amazon and Book Depository. Our booksellers had some tough times, but in the last year we've seen the market growing quite a lot. There's a lot of room for small boutique publishers now because some of the large publishers have stopped publishing in New Zealand. Shed, for example, stopped a couple of years ago to publish in New Zealand, and Penguin and Random House have joined. So there's now quite a lot of smaller publishers starting up and growing. So the current market feeling is we're optimistic and just hope that we can continue to grow a little year on year and publish good authors.
Yes, that's fine.
Yes.
Thanks a lot for the interview.
Thank you.
I'm Rita Müller.